Good morning, students. Welcome in this class. This is class 8, subject social science, and today we are going to start civics portion of our syllabus, and in which we will discuss first chapter, that is our constitutions, and it is the first lecture of this chapter. And today, in today's lecture, the topics which are to be discussed are like these. First, definition of constitution, when and how it was framed, purposes or needs of constitutions, and challenges before constitute assembly. So let's we start today's discussion. Yes, constitution. So our first question is there, what do you mean by constitutions? Yes, students, a constitution is a set of rules that guides how a country, state, or other political organization works. And the constitution may tell what the branches of the government are, what powers they have, and how they work. It may also state that rights of citizens. Actually, friends, constitutions, the word or the term constitutions comes from a Latin word that which means an important law. So, a constitution is a body of laws through which a country is governed, and it determines and specifies the rights of citizens, the powers of the government, and how the government should function, and it defines the relation between the different organs of government and citizens. So understood? So means constitutions means that, or the constitution is a fundamental legal document which consists some rules and regulation according to that a government of a country functions. Understood? Now our question is there, why these laws or rules are necessary. What is the need of these laws? Yes, friends, laws are important to regulate the civic lives of the people and establish peace and order in state. Yes, so these laws are necessary to maintain peace and order in society. Laws aim at individual as well as general welfare. Yes, these laws are beneficial for individuals, means for us, or as well as for others also. Like as a student, when you follow the rules and regulation in your classrooms of discipline, like so in this way that rule is beneficial for you also and for others also. Like in this way all of you will get a discipline or peaceful environment in which you can learn in well or better way. And these laws play important role in stopping crime and establishing peace in the society also. Yes, like these laws also is helpful in preventing the crime in society. Yes, now the question is there, or we will discuss who framed our constitution. Yes, students, means who were the people, those who wrote these laws for our country. Yes, the Indian Constitute Assembly, or means the Indian Constitution was drafted or designed by the Constitute Assembly. So what was this Constitute Assembly? Yes, students, Constitute Assembly was constituted in 1946 by the members indirectly elected from the provinces of British India and the princely state. Yes, what were these provinces or that princely states? Yes, students, as we know that we got our independence in 1947. So in 1946 that our country was under British rule, and the Britishers divided India into different administrative units which were known as that provinces, presidencies, and means the areas which was under the British rule, they were known as provinces, and some areas were there which were independent, means which were ruled by Indian ruler independently, and these were known as princely states. So means from that that all the members, means these people are the members of this Constitute Assembly from the both areas, from the provinces also and for this princely state also. Actually, students, what happened, as we know that in 1945 Second World War broke out, and at that time the Indian people were struggling for their freedom. So means so their struggle or the national struggle for freedom in India means gathered momentum. So in July 1945, new government came to power in England. Means during the Second World War in 1945 in England a new government formed. So this government in intentions to that convenient constitution making body was announced. Means this government announced Indian independence also, and it convenient a constitutions making body also. So the British government sent three of its ministers. Who were these? That is the Sir Stafford Cripps, Lord Pethick Lawrence, and Mr. A.V. Alexander. These three people were sent by British government to find a solutions to the question of India's independence. And this team, these three members, group of these three members was called Cabinet Mission. So according to the suggestion made by this Cabinet Mission or these three members, elections for the 296 seats assigned to the British India provinces were completed by August or means 1946. So with this independence of India, the Constituent Assembly became a fully independent body, and the assembly started working from the 9th December 1946. Means the assembly held its first meeting on December 9, 1946 and nominated Dr. Sachidanand Sinha, the oldest member of the assembly, as the provisional president. Means this assembly started its work or started working from the 9th December. Means on which work? On the work of the formations of constitution. This is there. And on December 11th December 1946, second meeting was held, and in which the assembly elected Dr. Rajendra Prasad as its permanent chairman. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, who was also known as Father of Indian Constitution, he was appointed the chairman of this drafting or designing committee, and the Constituent Assembly met for 166 days, spread over a period of 200 years, 11 months and 18 days. Means this was the time period which means taken by the members of this Constituent Assembly to form Indian Constitution. So how much time that it took? 2 years, 11 months and 18 days. So means after this time period, means after 166 days, that our constitutions was adopted or completed. Means the constitutions of India was completed, means the Indian Constitution was completed by the Constituent Assembly on 26th November 1949. But beta, as we know that we celebrate our that Republic Day on 26th January 1950. So why it is there? When our constitution work was completed on 26 November 1949, so why do we celebrate Republic Day on 26 January, or why our constitution came into force on 26 January 1950? Yes, beta, actually reason is there that there is a special reason I can say for this, as it was on 26 January 1930. At its Lahore session, the Indian National Congress had adopted the attainment of Purna Swaraj at its goal. Actually, when the people were struggling for their freedom, on 26 January 1930, Indian National Congress, means its session was held or meeting was held in Lahore. So in its Lahore session, Indian National Congress adopted the attainment of Purna Swaraj, or means complete independence, as its goal. That's why it was an important date in Indian history. That's why means in order to honor this historic date, we celebrate 26 January as our Republic Day. Understood? Yes. Now, preamble of Indian Constitution. Yes, students, preamble. actually pretext of Indian Constitution. Our Constitution starts with preamble, and which that consists outlines the main contours of the Indian Republic, and it contains the ideals and the basic principles of the Indian Constitution. And these basic principles are like sovereign and socialist and secular. Sovereign means like India is a free country and it is free to govern itself. Socialist mean like being free from social, political and economic exploitations. Secular means that there is in India there is no state religion. In the people of India are free to follow any religion according to their choice. That's why it is said India is a secular state. Now, purposes of Indian Constitution. Yes, students, the first purposes of Indian Constitution is that it lays out certain ideals, and that means that from the basis of the kind of country that we see, that we as citizens aspire to live in. Yes, what does it means? Actually, students, what is there that a country is usually made up of different communities of people who share certain beliefs but may not necessarily agree on all issues. Means the people of a country or society that they follow different culture and follow different religions and believe in certain different rules regulation. This is there. So a constitution helps serve as a set of rules and principles that all person in a country can agree upon as the basis of the way in which they want the country to be governed. Okay, and this include not only the type of government but also an agreement on certain ideals that they all believe the country should uphold. Understood? Means in which the people of that country that they are agree to follow all the rules and regulations of their country. This is there, and in which or we can understand this term by giving two contrasting situations in the recent history of Nepal, which are given in your book. Actually, Nepal is the country, means neighboring country of India, and Nepal, a few years before, Nepal was a monarchy. Monarchy means that there was the government of a king. Okay, means the king had the power to take all decisions, but the people of that country were not satisfied. They were not agree. Okay, not agree to follow these rules and regulations imposed by the king of their country. So they started struggle for means to establish democracy. So in 2006 they finally succeeded in putting an end to the power of the king. So now the people have to write a new constitution to establish Nepal as democracy. So the reason that they do not want to continue with the previous constitution is because it does not reflect the ideals of the country that they want Nepal to be, and they have fought for. You understood this? Yes. The second purpose or important purpose of a constitution is to define the nature of a country's political system. This is there, yes. For example, just I told you the example of Nepal. In Nepal, earlier constitution stated that the country was to be ruled by the king and his council of ministers. So in countries that have adopted a democratic form of government, the constitution plays a crucial role in laying out certain important guidelines that govern decision making within the societies. Means it tells the political nature, so types of governments and the functions of government also. Yes, constitutions provide safeguards from ourselves. Yes, student. Actually, another significant reason why we need a constitution is to save us from ourselves. Actually, the constitution helps to protect us against certain decisions we might take could have an adverse effect on large principles that the country believes in. So a good and well-planned constitution does not allow for the easy overthrow of provision that guarantee rights to citizens and protect their freedom. Yes, now our next topic is their constitution and democracy. Yes, students. In a democratic country, democratic means demo means rule, and cratic means like the people. So means democratic means the government or the rule in which the rule of people. As we know that in a democratic country, that the representative are elected by the people. Yes or no? Yes, and so beta, these people means in a democracy we choose our leaders so that they can exercise power responsibly on our behalf. Means we choose our leader, and these leaders that means they rule our country on our behalf. So, however, there is always the possibility that this leader might misuse their authority, and the constitution usually provides safeguard against this. Means when these people that get the power, so they can misuse this power. So to prevent or miss this type of situations in the country, our constitutions provide some safeguards against this, so that this misuse of authority can result in gross injustice and demonstrated in the in the society. This is there. So it protects or safeguard the fundamental rights of the citizens. Understood? Yes, means in a democratic country that the constitutions it tells the rules and regulation of governing a country were framed, and it specifies the power of the government and its organs and functions of the legislature, executive and judiciary. So in a democratic, to avoid the misuse of power by this representative, that one provision is given of the separation of power, means in which that there are the three organs of the government. These are legislature, executive and judiciary, and the power and functions of these three organs are separated to each other. And the another provision is fundamental right. It is also to prevent the misuse of power by this representative. Now in a democracy, the majority can continuously enforce decisions that exclude minority and go against their interest. Yes, in a democracy, one another provision is given our constitutions for the minority group, means those people who are less in numbers. So means in our constitutions that there is a provisions for the protections of their fundamental rights. Also means in Indian constitutions, equal rights, right to equality is given to everyone, whether they belong to any caste or religions or whether they are in less in number. This is there. As the minorities or weaker section in inter-community or dominations or intra-community dominations, means to prevent the dominations of the people of one community to the people of other communities, or to prevent the dominations of the people from one community to the people of same communities, is also some provisions are there. This is there. Yes. Now challenges before Constitute Assembly. So beta, this is our next topic. When our constitution was being written, so what were the problems faced by these members of Constitute Assembly? Yes, first was there that the country was made up of several different communities who spoke different languages, belonged to different religion and had different culture. Yes, as we know, India is a very large country, and in which there is a, means you can say, diversities are there. Here people are living, means those who speak different language, follow different cultures and belong to different religions. So that was to adopt such political system which can accept or which can fulfill the needs or expectations of all the members of the society. So to adopt this type of political system was a great problem in front of the member of Constitute Assembly. The partitions of the country into India and Pakistan was imminent. Imminent means decided. Yes, already means it was decided that after the independence, definitely the India was divided into two parts, India and Pakistan. So this type of means this was also a great challenge, or you can say problem, in front of the members of Constitute Assembly. The socio-economic condition of the vast mass of people appeared dismal. Okay, means, and you can say the poverty was also a great challenge in the front of member of Constitute Assembly, means to bring or suggest some plans which could bring development in independent India. Some were the challenges which were faced by the people or member of Constitute Assembly. Yes students, so in this way our today's lecture is completed, And now note down your homework, in which first question, the answer of these questions you have to write in your fair notebook, and in which first question is there, why does a democratic country need a constitution? Yes, I told you about the democracy and the constitution, in which you will get the answer. Who is known as the father of Indian constitution? Who was the president of Constituent Assembly? What is constitution and what purposes does it serve? So this is your homework. Okay, and tomorrow we will meet again with the next topic of this chapter, that is features of Indian constitutions. Thank you.